All right, Matt. Fourth fight, UFC Copenhagen. This one at 170 pounds between two guys that are just in different spots in their careers. You've got a guy in Gilbert Burns that in his last fight moved up to 170, finally had enough with 155. The weight cutting was just too insane for him. And he's taken on Gunnar Nelson, who's been sputtering of late. I mean, he's 1-2 in his last 3, but that's been over 2 full years, and it's just been a period of inconsistency for him. Now, before we came on air, Matt, you were kind of talking about Gunnar Nelson, and he's a really fun fighter to watch. You look at his overall record, he has 12 wins by submission, but in his last fight against Leon Edwards, wildly inconsistent. Exactly. His wrestling, he was out-wrestled by a pure boxer. I mean, what can you kind of expect in this one?
Gunnar Nelson is slowly falling into the Eric Silva trap of he's always a prospect no matter what. It seems like every time Gunnar Nelson fights, we're always talking about all this potential that he brings to the table, but he's never really had a top 15 win. I mean, he fought Ponzinibbio. You can say what you want about the eye pokes, but Ponzinibbio knocked him out. He fought Rick Story, and Rick Story is a good fighter. Rick Story kind of beat the brakes off him, and Leon Edwards too. Every time he's fought that, top 10 talent, he's never been able to pull it out with a win. And you can say, oh, well, Gilbert Burns, the one time he did fight in the top 15 was against Dan Hooker, but he had a terrible weight cut in that fight, and you really don't know how much that attributed to it. And the other thing is, I feel like Gunnar Nelson on the feet, he's a really good technician. He's got that nice karate stance. He stays very long. And he could be able to, clip Burns and then maybe, get something on the ground to work. But Burns has so much power on the feet. He throws those wild hooks. And if Burns can take him down, not a lot of guys, you can't say this about many guys, but Gilbert Burns is going to have the jiu-jitsu advantage over Gunnar Nelson.
Yeah, I mean, Gilbert Burns, an ADCC gold medalist, a champion at jiu-jitsu. And yeah, Gunnar Nelson has 12 wins by submission. Burns has 8, combined 20. But realistically, in this fight, I'd have to give the grappling advantage to the pure grappler in Gilbert Burns. We've been talking about him for a long time. He's one of those guys that if he could get all those skills, he's a good boxer. He can punch well. He can strike well in general. His grappling's good. His wrestling's good. And if he can get that complete package, which we saw in his last fight against Kunchenko, handing him his first pro loss, I mean, the sky's the limit for him. So in this fight, you look at the odds, Burns a minus 145 favorite. You've got Gunnar Nelson plus 125. Matt, I think I know who I'm picking. You're going with Burns.
If you're a betting man, Gunnar Nelson's not a terrible idea to pick as the underdog due to the fact that on the feet, he is a little bit more crisp with his stand-up. But yeah, I'm picking Gilbert Burns in this fight.
And I'm going to go with Burns as well. Really looking forward to this fight. It could go either way. Fight Night Picks, UFC Copenhagen 2-minute breakdowns. Let's get into it.